The ninth annual National Day of Racial Healing is on January 21st. That would have passed. Today, WK Kellogg Foundation Chief Investment Officer Carlos Rangel is here to discuss the tension in the U.S. and how people can learn to come together. Good morning. How are you, Carlos?
Good morning, James. Pleasure to be with you and your audience, and excited to talk about the National Day of Racial Healing and its ninth edition.
You know, what's interesting is what is the National Day of Racial Healing and what is happening around the country and in certain cities like St. Louis, Kansas City, and Indianapolis to celebrate?
Yeah, it is the day after the Martin Luther King Day, and it's a continuation of Dr. King's struggle and dream of all of us coming together at the table as equals and to be judged about the quality of our character and not the color of our skin. It's about establishing conversations and getting to know each other better and coming closer together at a moment, as you said, where there's been a level of division.
Now, how do we overcome division when so many Americans struggle to communicate with one another and find common ground?
So the racial healing is a methodology that helps us do that. And it starts with, as you said, we've had a country, if you look at the elections, half the country has a project and the other half of the country believes in a different direction. But after the election, we all come together and still live in the same country, go to the same schools, and live in the same communities. So we want to come together. It starts with doing the internal work and being able to explain our experiences, our point of view in a way that's respectful, that helps us connect with others. And then being willing to provide that courtesy of listening with empathy, to really trying to understand the point of view, the life experiences of others. And in this case in particular, how racism and discrimination have shaped somebody's experiences and opportunities to come together and create a relationship of open communication and start building up trust. And that helps us really bridge that divide that exists today.
Now, how is the WK Kellogg Foundation working to bridge the political, racial, and ethnic divide?
The Kellogg Foundation is guided by trying to create a nation where children have an opportunity to thrive, and that is all children. We know that our country's history with racism, with segregation, have limited opportunities for some communities, and we want to make sure that we are creating those onboard ramps so that they can enjoy all the benefits of being part of the U.S., being part of the U.S. economy, and that helps everybody in the country. So the thing we're doing is, as you say with the National Day of Racial Healing, is we're having over 250 events around the nation. It is for people to come together, to share their perspectives, and we're seeing that this dialogue is helping revitalize communities across the U.S., and we want to do more of that for the benefit of all.
Now, can you share some examples on how you have seen racial healing work?
Yes, absolutely. So in Selma, Alabama, we've had segregationists or the people that are descendants from segregationists come together with the people that were doing civil rights work in Selma, Alabama, and have conversations about how can we come together and overcome some of the history that we have that has divided our town and has made us weaker and impoverished us as a community. Together we're stronger, together we're better. And Flint had a similar story of coming together after being affected by a water crisis where lead in the water pipes ended up creating lead poisoning for children, and the community had to figure out how to work together despite cultural differences to make sure that all children had an opportunity to be healthy.
Well, while we all need racial healing, the healing each community, family, and person needs differs and reflects their unique life experiences. What are some of the questions and challenges Latino families and communities confront as they work to heal?
Absolutely. So we start some of the tough conversations we need to have are how is our family affected by discrimination? Do we oftentimes in my family we one of these where you have the blonde, blue-eyed family members that have perhaps received a different treatment than others that have darker skin and different types of features. So there's been that colorism aspect to it. It could also be around national origin. How do we interact with members of the Latino Hispanic community that may be for different countries? Are we extending that open arms, the outstretched hand to be able to be closer together and work together? Or are we thinking about those are sources of division? And so the foundation is creating an event in Telemundo that is going to air in their streaming platforms in January 21st. And then it'll be aired live on the 25th at 5 p.m. Eastern to celebrate through art, through culture, through telling inspirational stories about how we can come together and celebrate that. That is common ground for us, our shared humanity.
Now, where can our viewers go to learn more?
They can go to dayofracialhealing.org, where we have kits that can help people prepare for these conversations at their kitchen table, with their families, at their schools, at their places of worship, and the places where they work.
I've been speaking with WK Kellogg Foundation Chief Investment Officer Carlos Rangel. The last thing I have to say to Carlos is, I was so glad Michigan beat Ohio. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Love to hear that. Go Blue.